So we've been working with expressions, but now we're going to talk about equations, and it's super important that you guys understand the difference between the two. So here's your technical definition for an equation, just a statement that two expressions are equal. So when we talk about an expression, those are things like 3x plus 7. When we talk about an equation, there has to be an equal sign, so 3x plus 7 equals 4. Okay, the difference is equations have equal signs, expressions do not. Equations can be solved, which is what we're doing today. Expressions you can only simplify. So keep those things in mind when you're reading your directions. When we solve equations, you have to use the properties of equality. So if we assume at the beginning that two sides are equal, whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. It works for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, just like you see here. The key to all of this is to keep your equation balanced. Whatever you put on one side, you have to put on the other. That's like the golden rule. So linear equations are always of the form ax equals b. So no exponents on that variable. You can have addition on both sides, things like that, but no x squareds or anything weird like that. How would you determine if 3 is a solution to the equation we have here on the lower left-hand side? Over on the right, it tells you how to do that. It's a solution if the statement is true, so both sides are equivalent. That does not mean you start solving for x and see if you get 3. That means you substitute onto both sides and see if they are equivalent when you're done. So we would have 7 times 3 plus 4. 7 times 3 is 21 plus 4. We get 25 there. Then we check it out on the right-hand side. We have 9 times 3 minus 2. That's 27 minus 2, 25. And because 25 is equal or equivalent to 25, we would say that this is indeed a solution. So yes, a solution is how you write your answer there. Sometimes you'll get things like 25 equals 7. That's obviously not true, so you would say it's not a solution in that case. The golden rule of algebra, more like if algebra had its own set of commandments, this would be commandment number 1. It's that important. Do unto one side of the equation what you would do unto the other. Remember that one always, and algebra is a piece of cake. Here's a pro tip from a pro. I know you all love fractions so much, but in case you don't, let's get rid of them. So here we have our pro tip, like I said. When you want to deal with whole numbers rather than fractions, you have to use a common multiple to eliminate all of those denominators. So our denominators are 3, 5, and 10. And the easiest number to multiply by would be the least common multiple. So the smallest number that all 3 of those go into. I think 30 sounds like a really good number because they all go into 30. So what happens is I take both sides of my equation and I multiply by that least common multiple. So it's kind of going to get a little messy here, but the next step, everything works out great. So we distribute using the distributive property. 30 times 2/3 is 20. X minus 30 times 1/5 should be 6. Then we distribute on the right-hand side. 60x minus 9. Now it looks like a much easier equation to solve where everything is just integers. So we want to gather our like terms on the same side. I'm going to move my 20x to the other side. So got to subtract 20x from both sides. And at the same time, I'm going to move this negative 9 over to the left by adding 9 to both sides. So I get 3 is equal to 40x. And x is equal to, oh, I have to divide by 40. That does not look like a nice number that I know what it is. So x equals 3 over 40. And of course you can check by plugging back in. I hope this helps you out. Good luck.